Hi, this is Dr. Pete. The title of this video is going to be Sober Life, Happy Wife. It's about reconstruction of the marriage, and it's about realizing that if your wife tells you she's having a problem with your drinking, she's probably right. You don't want till the judge tells you, you don't want the policeman to tell you, you don't want a treatment specialist to tell you. You can get out of this predicament now if you trust what she's saying. And if you're having trouble with her because she was brought up with an alcoholic and you just think she's being too dramatic, ask your friends. Ask the people you drink with. Ask your family. Ask anyone you grew up with. Try to get some other feedback, but be open-minded about the idea that when someone tells you you have a problem with drinking or drugging, they're not talking about that one time you went to the bar and had one beer and walked out and they're all, up in arms the next day because you had a beer. You did something that made them notice it, or you had a series of nights where you did harm and you blew it off because you were intoxicated and you weren't in touch with reality. And you're not going to really take to heart what someone says the next day because you're probably hungover and you don't want to hear it. So this disease has a way of creeping into your life in a way that you don't see it coming, you don't notice it, so you don't do anything about it. And when you get sober a little while, you start to realize, if you get honest about it, if you go to meetings, you get honest, you start to have some clarity. Usually, because you've listened to other people tell your story, you start to develop some clarity about the harm you've done. But at the beginning, it's very, very hard to see because we're so used to minimizing it and justifying it and saying things like, it's not that bad, I can quit anytime I want. She's just being dramatic. She's just, complaining. She drinks too. All my friends drink. I don't drink any worse than my other friends. I have friends that use drugs. I have somebody in my office that uses crack. I have a crystal meth user down the block from me. I'm not like them. So the alcoholic addict has a hard time being honest because we compare ourselves to others that are much worse or that we think are much worse. So if someone's giving you feedback, it's very, very significant. On the John Hopkins 20 questionnaire, developed at John Hopkins, it's really a 20-question questionnaire that has this question. Has anybody given you any negative feedback about your drinking? Well, at John Hopkins it's just drinking, but I add drugs to it too. If anyone says something to you, it's usually extreme because it's a very sensitive topic because of the stigma on it. No one wants to say anything because they can see where this is going to be a problem if they say something. It's going to be very controversial. It's socially accepted. The alcoholic has a stigma of being a drunk, a lowlife, someone who's really incapable of having willpower. So it's almost like accusing someone of being an inferior human being, and that's implied. It's not conscious, but that's what's implied when you give someone feedback. It's called leveling. When you level with someone, a lot of times it's easily dismissed if a male to male tells you that you're drinking or drugging. But sometimes if your friends get together and tell you that they're worried about you because of the quantity or what you act like when you drink, it can really have an impact on you. Whoever it comes from, trust that if 2-3 people tell you your horse's ass, it's time to buy a saddle. So it's all about being honest about it and clear-headed and being open to feedback. Thank you very much. Best of luck. If you're drinking and drugging and somebody tells you about it, take action. God bless.